Hello people. Today I will be doing what I do best. Judging things in a completely non-objective way without any real constructive criticism. And today it's going to be popular fanfiction tropes. I might divide this video in two. I don't know yet, depending on how long it is. For anyone who has not seen any of my previous videos, and will probably no doubt wonder at least once, while watching, what is wrong with me and if I have issues based on my opinions, the answer to both is yes. For the record, this is not based on actual rating. I just tried to find the most popular ones. Also, I will not be covering tropes that are just like fluff or angst or canon divergence. It's too general. Also, just so we are all on the same page about how my taste works. Angst is great, will not read anything if it doesn't have at least some angst. Like 40 to 60, at least it has to be angst. Fluff is way overrated. Do not like it that much. Friends to lovers, of course we start with the classic. This seems to be the most popular trope as far as I understand, and I do like it. Most of my ships are friends to lovers. It can have a lot of pining and shit, which creates angst, so I do appreciate that. It's just that for me, friends to lovers as a trope itself is not strong enough on its own, I guess. It's a good base, but you have to add a lot to make it truly interesting. I know most of you are thinking that yeah duh, there is always something added to every trope. But think of it as a trope, just bear. Go through the basic motions. Friends who like each other and then they get together at some point, this is just basic steps. It's not that interesting, is it? It'll make more sense when we come to other tropes. It's an important one, but it has to be wrapped into something else. Okay, examples. Think Buddy and Newtmas. They are completely different ships, but bare bones, the steps are the same. But if you add everything else, they are almost non-comparable. First one is co-parenting, repression, found family, firefighter angst. And the other one is apocalypse, sickness and death. So even though they are technically the same trope, they have so many other little tropes added, which makes them distinguishable. If they were just friends to lovers without anything, they would be the same ship. Did any of this make sense? Shit, this was only the first one. I'll try to be quicker, I promise. Hurt and comfort, I hear this, I think Stucky. It's like this. For me, if this is the main point or I don't know, main tag in the story, I will probably not read it, but I do like it in medium doses. If it's the additional trope in a slow burn or something, I will enjoy it. And sometimes I am quite honestly just not in the mood for characters talking about their feelings for 5,000 words. AMD, sometimes I am. Depends on a day. And my emotional stability. Alternative universe, college/university and high school. So I just threw all of these in the same basket, because I do have about the same opinion. Let's face it, it's the same trope, but one is allowed to be more quote-unquote mature. And also different levels of education. And no parents. I do prefer the university one, mostly because I am currently attending university and the characters are older and usually the characterizations are better. Also, let's be real, the smut is a lot less uncomfortable to read. High school I like, but I preferred it when I was in high school myself, mostly because I think I live vicariously through it, since my high school life was uneventful. Looking back, I am extremely thankful for that. I am one of those people that say they don't like drama, but in reality they enjoy drama, they just don't want to be involved in it. Also, that was around the time when I got really into Wattpad and it caused some permanent damage. High school is good for cheesy tropes. Geek and jock are lab partners. Is that still popular? Was it ever? Or sports rivals, I think. Which reminds me, one of my favorite tropes is sports AU. It's not on the list because apparently, it's not that popular, which is a crime. They always deliver the drama. Alpha, beta and omega dynamics. No. God, no. This one is horrible. Fuck, now that the new Teen Wolf movie is happening, this will get a new surge, I can feel it. Is that actually a thing, or did we all have a collective 2021 induced fever dream hallucination? I kind of hope it does come out though, because then Tumblr will be either the best place to be or the absolute worst, and I can't wait to see it in flames. That's coming from a place of love. Back to it. Do you ever see a fic with great description and you get really excited and then your eye catches more accidentally than not this tag just before you click on it and you feel like you've been catfished by a written work? Or like when the description starts with the excerpt from the fic and then the description on the bottom is like omega character B is blah 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 and you want to die. Weekly basis, it doesn't seem much but it takes a toll on a person. Also a lot of non-con involved with this one. Do people in sororities read fanfiction and when they hear someone call themselves an omega, do they laugh or cry? Mutual pining. A classic. True staple. Is there a slow burn without it? No. I debated putting it on the list since it's quite general, but as you can see, I don't listen to myself, and there are some tropes you gotta put respect on. Fake dating. Speaking of respect. Yes. Just a million times yes. All the numbers yes. This might be my favorite, it has everything. Pining, angst, miscommunication, jealousy, some real great love confessions rom-com style, other characters being all oh my god I can see how much they love you, also let's face it the italicized oh moment does not hit harder anywhere else. Comfort is in the formula, while you know how it's gonna go, yet does it slap? Indeed it does. The magic is in the comfort, it's in the formula, and it is in the sharing of the bed. There is only one bed. How can one not like this? Iconic. Inventors of beds saw this trope from heaven and were like, finally we can rest peacefully knowing our invention has risen to such heights. I am not sure that in real life I would appreciate someone cuddling me in my sleep, but when it comes to fictional characters, yeah, let's do this. Cafe AU. Is it bad that I don't particularly like reading these that much? I know I have, but I can't remember any that I liked to that point of wanting to reread or bookmark them, or any that stayed in my memory for more than 2 seconds after I finished them. I guess I appreciate it for what it is, for just being such a strange phenomenon. It's sweet and adorable, meet cutes are always appreciated, and I will read it once in a while if I'm feeling like stepping out of the box. Sex pollen. I saw this a few times when I was researching, so I guess it's popular enough. I can't say I haven't read or have read it, I can't really remember. When it comes to smut I have no strong opinions, there are no hills to die on regarding this topic. It's Netherlands. Except for the obvious, I don't like non-con or incest or pedophilia, which is weird that you even need to specify. I won't read smut if it's the main point of the fic, but if it's a part of I won't avoid it either. Sometimes I read it and other times I just scroll through. Oh right, sex pollen. As far as I could find out it's a substance, of alien or mythical nature, that makes characters do those sinful things. And there is a lot of non-con involved apparently, so not a fan. Enemies to lovers. I mean, what do you expect for me to say? To anyone who has seen any of my videos, the fact that I adore this one should not come as a surprise. It's up there with my favorites. And I always find it funny whenever some people go, oh my god it's toxic, they tried to kill each other. Yeah well so. Grow up. They tried to kill each other, it was mutual. That's why I prefer it to bully turns love interest, because that shit's one-sided. It's just one person being mean to the other and the other one being afraid and not reciprocating the emotional of physical violence. Let's face it, this trope has more flavor than friends to lovers. I know there is the middle ground of enemies to friends to lovers, and I can see that, but if you make me choose I will always choose the first one. That being said, I do like platonic enemies to friends, and I think it's severely underrated. Damon and Bonnie, I am looking at you. This is what I've been talking about, the trope that if you just strip it down to bare essentials, can stand alone. Because in its basic structure it already has all the elements of a great story. You can't write enemies to lovers without some conflict already integrated, and it requires so much more character development. Friends to lovers, again just look at it, without any other story beats, it goes pretty smoothly, but enemies to lovers can't. I heard some people saying that this one is better because it makes the characters see the ugliest parts of each other first and still fall in love, which is lovely on its own. And let's not skirt around the obvious, it's spicier. I am a simple person. I wanna push my enemies against the wall as I threaten them with my bloodied sword. I don't wanna raise kids with my childhood best buddy. Childhood friends to lovers. Let's get this out of the way. This trope is garbage. This trope is the reason people think women and men can't be friends. I don't care if it's not true or an oversimplification of a much bigger problem rooted in our male-dominated society. I said what I said. Wing fix. Next, if the characters originally have wings like Crowley or Hawks or that one gay guy from that obscure Hunter show, then I don't mind, but I personally don't get it. I don't understand the fascination with this. Maybe because I strongly dislike birds and anything with feathers really, so the idea of a person having wings deeply unsettles me. Amnesia. It depends. I don't know about you, but I always have one character in a pairing through whose POV I prefer reading. So if this character is the one without amnesia and trying to get the other character to remember them, then I'll be all for it. If it's the other way around, I might need some more convincing. Agent/hitman/undercover fic. I put this all in the same category because I have the same opinion on them. Strongly depends on the ship. I am a big fan, because I love action spy movies, but not everyone can pull it off similarly well. Give me Merthyr, Clintisha, Wolfstar any day though. As a trope itself, the slow burns are usually so intricate, I have to say they suck me in the quickest. I am a slut for well-organized spy organizations and people with abilities to kick my ass and hack my government's top-secret base. Miscommunication. Look, I thrive on this shit. This might be an unpopular opinion, I don't care, I like it. Soulmate a you. Another unpopular opinion maybe. I don't read them. I can't remember the last time I read one, since I tend to avoid them. I don't totally know why, it's just the idea that you are destined for someone, and will love someone without choosing them does not sit well with me. But I do appreciate different versions of it. Like matching symbols, first words said to each other written on their skin, etc. My favorite, however, has to be that when they don't see color until they meet their soulmate. The imagery of it I love. I think I once read a story where they had a soulmate, but then they fell in love with someone else instead. That fucker slapped. And no, it wasn't Vampire Diaries. If anyone has any good ones, please send the link, I am willing to give this one another chance. Royalty AU. Underrated. I get annoyed when it's connected with Alpha Beta Omega dynamic, which just ruins the whole thing. It has so many things going for it. Usually, it's the angst and the forbidden romance. And of course, posh people being in love and then other posh people being scandalized by it. Look, I liked Disney and Princess Diaries growing up, what can I say? Historical AU. Angst. Check. Also, the writing and research done is usually amazing. I am not that big of a history buff, so when there are inaccuracies that doesn't throw me out of it. My preferred era has to be either Regency or the Roaring Twenties. Though Victorian has some good ones. Time loop. I have never seen any time loop movies, except maybe Looper, I am not sure if that counts, even though it does have a loop in the name, but the plot isn't actually a loop technically, except maybe in a broader sense, or is it? I think it isn't. Again, depends on through whose POV I am reading. I gotta say, I enjoy it. Love triangle. Only if my preferred ship wins. Then I like it. If it's just so they could make the other couple endgame, then I am morally against it. I am hypocritical like that. Sometimes it's just nice to win, you know. Arranged marriage. To be honest, this one is very specific, I do only like it when Zucca does it. But I still think it's a tiny bit underrated. Again, it's getting brought down by that stupid ABO trope. Bang or die. It's very self-explanatory, this one. I have never encountered it, and I am okay if I never do. Drunken confession. I have a bias toward this. When I was younger, I was actually really afraid that anytime someone got drunk, you just had zero filter and said everything that came to your mind. As I grew older, I realized this was indeed and thankfully not the case. This trope still entertains me thoroughly. Especially the morning after when they realize what happened and panic ensues. Pregnancy fic / babyfic / kidfic. No, look, no. Unless it's Buddy, or a ship that have a kid in canon, no. I don't wanna read about people parenting. Except again, Buddy. Full disclosure, I am not a huge fan of kid characters in media, and most people can't really write kids, which is understandable, because children's dialogue is difficult to replicate, but it's still cringe when I have to read it. Also, being pregnant is my second worst fear, right after being dead. Unhappy ending. Sometimes, gotta be honest, it's a good palate cleanse. I do prefer it when the characters were together already and then something tragic happened to if only one had the feelings and the other got married or died or something. I like the Romeo and Juliet angle more than pining after someone who is dead angle. Also known as the Hamlet and Horatio angle. Unrequired love. No, except if it's from a POV of a third character that is in love with half of my ship, who are happily together. Is this psychotic? Sadistic? A bit. But I hate it if it ends in suicide. That's too much even for me. Reader insert. I've never read it. And I was in One Direction fandom. I say this as if I am not still. You never get out. This is just not my thing. I could never really get into it, because people I would want to read a self-insert about were always way out of my league or older, so I thought it was too weird and unrealistic. But whatever floats your boat, no problem with it. Gender bend. I don't particularly like this one. Except if they are trans. But those who turn just one character in a same-sex pairing into a cis character of the opposite sex just to make the pairing straight should review their life choices. Body swap. I don't remember reading much of this. It's fine, but I will not actively seek it out. 5+1. Another one that I am not sure if it's too general or not to put on this list, but hey, if you never read one of these, I will assume you are only reading stories from an obscure pairing that has like 70 fics. And somehow none of them are of this format. It's such a simple, but effective model. It gives us separate stories, with one connective element, and I just love that there are no rules here. You don't even actually need 5 plus 1. It can be whatever number. It's chaos and it's order. Creativity and rigid formula working together. Hanahaki disease. This might be out of character for me as an angst lover, but I don't read this trope. It's not that I don't like it, it has everything I usually love. Pining, melodramatics, barfing roses, etc. I truly can't explain why I don't feel this one. Maybe I don't love the idea of dying because someone doesn't return your affections. Sounds low-key pathetic. Huddle for warmth. It's okay, I guess. Not something I am super passionate about. My first association is that scene in Twilight, where Jacob and Edward have a discussion about who is hotter and looked like they might reenact Brokeback Mountain if Bella wasn't dying of hypothermia. Major character death. How major is the character? And which one? I really like it if it leads to some sort of time travel. Hogwarts AU. I shall read this for every pairing, until the day I die. Reincarnation. Merthyr stands stand up. Can I get an oh yeah? And now for the two I never heard of before doing this, but I really wanted to mention. Draco in leather pants. I really thought this was what it says on the tin kind of trope. But apparently, and I am quoting what I read on the internet, villainous character is portrayed in a more sympathetic light, aka it's when a fandom takes a controversial or villainous character turning them into an object of desire. So to paraphrase, I can fix them, but I could also just fuck them and see how it goes from there. Which I respect. IKEA erotica. This is for badly written sex scenes. Basically, part A is put into part B. This is how I imagine conservative sex education sounds like. Fuck, this name is sending me. Who the fuck thought of it? Can I marry you? Okay, so this is the end of this video. I hope you liked it. See you next time.